Call to order the City Council work session for CV's Grand Forks for Tuesday, June 23rd is now 5 o'clock. City Clerk, please call roll.
Mayor Steve Gander.
Here.
Council President Mark Olson.
Here.
Council Vice President Chuck Russell.
Here.
Council Member Starnes Vetter.
Here.
Dale Helms.
Here.
Tim Riefel.
Here.
Tim Johnson.
Here.
Mark Demers.
Present.
It does term quorum. Number 1, consider street repair to 2nd Avenue Northeast. Mr. Stordahl.
Thank you, Mr. President. So as most of you know, that drive second there by the green site, there's a big dip before the flood wall. We got an estimate to repair last year. We awarded OP Construction. They were unable to complete the repair because of the wet fall that we had. Over the fall and winter, spring months here, there was some additional settling, so we had to add to the project some. There's some sidewalk work, even a little bit of trail work that's going to have to be done, some work around the catch basins. And it's a little bit of a complicated process just because of how it comes up to the flood wall and the thickness of the concrete, rebar and stuff that's in there. As for estimates, and the two that I ended up getting were from OP and Strata. There's a big difference, as you can see. I'm recommending to the council that they award the project to OP Construction for $49,992.30. Is there any questions?
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Stordahl? Mr. Vetter.
Thank you. It's all settling, Jason, but on the bids, it doesn't talk about compacting anything. Once they pull it out, it's just replacing it. Are they going to do some compaction and make sure that you got a good base again?
Yes, everything will have to be, everything that we remove out, no matter if it's settling or not, that's something we always require in all projects. So
okay.
It will be compacted per the specs.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything? See none. Thank you, Mr. Stordahl.
Thank you.
Move on number 2, request to update door access, holding cells, and fire alarm system. Chief Hedlund.
Thank you, Mr. President. As I'm sure you folks all recall, we were dealing with this in the budget process last year, and it was a bit frustrating because we were trying to get at least reasonably accurate numbers from the vendor that we were looking to use at that point in time. It was the same company that initially installed our systems back when this building was converted to a police department in the 1990s. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get very good numbers. We did get a rough estimate of $25,000 to replace the fire alarm system, $30,000 to replace the door access system, but the best number they gave us was $175,000 regarding the jail system, which we were all quite sure was not going to be very accurate. We got into the new year. I had further discussions with Chris Kovar and Corey Thompson, and we decided to move forward with requests for some quotes from our estimates from other additional companies. We did again contact Johnson Controls, who was the initial company we'd been dealing with. They initially, upon receiving the new information, expressed a desire to give us a formal bid. I have never heard from them again. Also gave the same exact information to both HP Sound and Light and Electro Watchman. HP Sound and Light eventually did provide 2/3 of an estimate, but they never gave us any information regarding the fire alarm panel and have not responded to an email I sent regarding that portion of the project. Ultimately, Electro Watchman is the only one that ever gave us a complete bid, and I'm going to be requesting that we move forward with that project from Electro Watchman. As I mentioned, we only have money currently budgeted for the fire alarm panel and the door access system, but it's based upon conversations I've had with Carl Anderson. It's my understanding that there has been a couple of projects that were scheduled for 2020 out of the building maintenance fund that have been moved to 2021. So I believe there is funds that could be used out of that fund to complete this project. The only thing that would be different from what I'm recommending in my RCA is I have had conversations with Chief Bushy of the fire department, and just yesterday he was able to inform me that because of the fact that we have the jail here, we are required to have the fire alarm system monitored. So we would have to choose one of the two options. If we went with the Electro Watchman bid, we would have to choose one of those two options. I would recommend that we would go with the lower cost of the two. It's option number 1, fire monitoring via 2 of the analog phone lines. That's an annual cost of $359.40. I'm not sure whether we would have any cost in getting those phone lines put in or not, but I would work with Corey and Chris to try to get that figured out. Having just got that information yesterday, I have not had the opportunity to take any additional steps on that. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions for Chief Hedlund? Mr. Demers?
Thank you, Mr. President. Chief, I appreciate all the work you've done on this and the patience to get it done. I support this project. My only caveat is that I want to make sure that Corey or whoever can make sure that this could be expandable. And I know you touched on it in your RCA a bit, but I've been talking to Corey quite a bit about improving our access control throughout the city.
Absolutely.
And I just want to make sure that Corey would be able to sign off on making sure that from a technical standpoint that we could expand that. And then I don't know if there's anything, I mean, if there's a hardware thing or whatever. Obviously, we'd do it piecemeal, but I don't know who we would need to contact to make sure that current doors and all that type of thing would fit in with this type of system.
Sure, very good points. Chris Kobar was present with myself every time any of these vendors came and did their tours, so Chris was able to interact with these vendors and get good information. That was it's obviously a different language than I speak to some degree, the computer world, and so that's why I wanted Chris here. So absolutely, we can have him and or Corey do another brush up with that. Electro Watchman did stress both when they were in person and in their bid that this system for the door access system is expandable, dramatically larger than what we'll currently be able to use. And even if we ultimately needed even more than that system is capable of handling, we could upgrade to another server and essentially trade in our existing one to allow this system to take on an even larger role. But I totally agree with you that we should be looking to move on and add additional buildings onto the system. I think it would just, it's a good way for security, and somebody leaves, you're not having to get rid of or you're not having to recover keys, you just take them out of the computer system and they can no longer get in the building.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, and Chief, this is Mark Olstead. Yeah, I know on the literature that you sent to us, it says it can go up to 128 portals, which means that you have to add additional servers and different things on there. So looks like it can be expanded, so which is a good thing. So I mean, maybe look into it, see what if you do talk to them, or if you have Corey or whoever talk to them, find out what the added cost is down the road. If you
Sure.
want to add the extra doors on there, if it's, and there it says also we can do tenants differently, a different portal where we can control it at different times or whatever and set it up. So appreciate it.
I can absolutely look into that before we would have the city council meeting on the 7th.
Sure. Thank you. Anybody else have anything?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Number 3, consider approval of facility joint use agreement. Reid.
Thank you, Mr. President. So in discussion with the school district, and we were getting our plans in place for summer activities this year, Mr. Colness and I visited about that we hadn't ever had a written agreement in place for our outdoor spaces, our ball fields, park spaces that either we use of the school districts or that the school district uses of the cities. So we discussed a joint use agreement that could cover those facilities. And that's what we've got put together in front of you here today. Basically, it's any of the outdoor sports fields that either the city has that the school uses or that the school has and the city uses. There wouldn't be any financial considerations for it at all. It would continue down the path it has through history, in that, so basically when we use the fields, we take care of them. I.e. like chalking the lines on the fields, dragging the fields to get them ready for our use, and the school district would do the same when they use them. So that would be hopefully up for approval with all of you.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Huttunen? Mr. Demers.
Thank you, Mr. President. Looks like a good agreement, and I like the fact that we're, formalizing this, and we should I don't remember if we did anything with Sacred Heart on the baseball or the softball diamonds, but we should probably do the same with them. And I'm just wondering if we need to have like a hold harmless or any type of liability type issue discussion as well.
There should be hold harmless in there. If you look on the third page of it, it's probably fourth to the last paragraph.
Got it.
Save harmless, indemnify. And I think Mr. Gallstead was involved in writing this, so he would be able to clarify if there's anything that needs on that.
I see it now.
Agree on the Sacred Heart. We don't have anything formally approved in writing with them either, but would look to do so before we get back to school function again.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything?
President, I was just going to comment on the Sacred Heart matter. I had previously drafted up an agreement that covered that area, and for some reason, after it was presented, it just never got entered into. So we could look at it. I could provide it to Reid, and we could go from there as well, or modify it to something similar to this.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else have anything? Mr. Helms?
Thank you, Mr. President. Reid, a question for you on the swimming pool, on that kiddie pool. Was that a frozen pipe that happened there, or what went on there?
Yeah, sure. I could touch on that quickly. There was a section of the pipe in the kiddie pool that didn't drain properly, is our assumption. Didn't drain properly through the winter and was frozen. It was fairly well exploded again, very similar to the same situation that we had on the main pool a couple of years ago. So we've found, I would say we found 99% of the problem and had it repaired. And I will add that along with the repair now, we've had it repaired with a design that allows us to blow it out. So we have an attachment port that we can get to through the decking to attach a compressor up to for blowout purposes. That was not there previously. So hopefully that's something that we won't have to worry about happening again with that line. Similar, changes were made on the main pool when that break happened a couple of years ago. So there's one small portion of the wading pool that is not repaired yet. That's on the wading pool, the area that the fish kind of blow water out of their mouths. We know that we have a break still there as well because it won't hold air pressure, but it's going to entail a little more work to figure out exactly where the break is, and it might involve obstructing or interfering with the vinyl liner some. So David and I discussed yesterday, we decided to wait until the end of this summer to further investigate that so that we can at least have that wading pool ready to use this season. The concrete work is done as of this afternoon, and we fully expect to be able to start filling it with water tomorrow.
Did we blow that system out ourselves, or didn't we hire a professional company to come and do that?
No, we didn't blow it out, and it was not. There was no design in it to be blown out. So it was designed to be gravity drained. So basically, just open the valves, and it's all supposed to fall back to the low point in the pump room. There were no ports included in any form to be able to attach to blow it out. So it never has been in the whole time since 2015 when it was put in. It never has been blown out. And then obviously something changed in the way that pipe was laying that allowed it to hold water this year.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Thank you.
Anybody else have anything? No, I entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh.
Just one thing, I'm sure someone will think of it, Reid, but it may be that you could abandon a section of that line and come in another way and not have to disrupt the liner.
Yeah, on that part of it, we're working through that. That's there's a lot more work to be done there. We're working closely with Lunseth Plumbing to figure out a way to do that. We sure hope that we can core through if we need to.
Yep.
To go further into detail, we'll run a camera through it first, but the camera that we have access to is too big to get down the 1-inch PVC line than it is. So the first step, the reason we left it, we just capped it so that we could get the pool going. And once we can get our hands on a camera that will fit down a 1-inch line, we'll run a camera to see if we can pinpoint exactly where the break is. And hopefully that will eliminate us having to break out more concrete than we need to and that sort of thing. So certainly hopeful that it'll be minimal cutting and repair once we can pinpoint exactly where the spot is. It's about 15 feet of pipe that we haven't been able to take a look at yet, where it kind of siphons from a 2-inch line down to a 1-inch line for those play features.
Thanks, Reid.
All right, Mr. Demers. Yes.
Are you done with this topic? Or
I would assume so.
Okay. Just wondering if we can get an update on timeline for the,
We are going to have a special meeting on Monday night
this
to go
group
through
will-
that. Yes.
Okay.
So that'll get posted tomorrow, correct, Megan?
Yes.
So Monday night, we will have a work session to discuss the charter, and then immediately following that, we'll have a meeting to approve it. So, David, did you want anybody to get back to you a certain time this week, or Thursday, Friday, or what?
Well, I think at this point, we have what is out there.
If anybody has
So,
any questions, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if there's any questions or anything like that, yeah, if you could get to me no later than maybe say 10 o'clock on Friday. That would be good.
Sounds good.
And this hard copy is in what state of editing, or where?
That should be the final from the Charter Commission.
Okay.
We are at a point.
I have been made aware that there still are a couple typos in it, but as far as the language in it, it is in the final form as approved by the Charter Commission.
We had a special meeting again last night for the purpose of taking some more of your input, Mr. Demers, and other ones that we found. And the timing being what it is, I think the Charter Commission and the whole process will be looking for pretty much an up and down vote on this document. There won't be a lot of time anymore to dissect and move and parse and whatnot. Just so timeline-wise, as you look through this, if you do find anything glaring, we'll have to deal with it. But the hope would now be we put back that section that was taken out. We put it back in, Mr. Vedder. And so the hope would be to come in with an up or down vote on this document unless some radical or small, even very small typo or something were found. Would you agree with that's where we are?
Monday, we're going to have a work session, and immediately following, have a approval,
Yeah.
so, or deny. So, yep. It's going to be Monday instead of Tuesday, so remember that, so. There's no meeting on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's the 5th Tuesday of the month.
Anybody else have anything? Not entertain a motion to adjourn?
I have a question for Nancy or Mr. Stordahl. As the painting crew, when are we going to get that painting done over there by the underpass by the Mendenhall?
They should be here shortly. They're supposed to call me the week of July 6th. So hopefully it'll be soon.
Thank you.
Entertain motion. Moved by Grasso, second by Johnson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried, means adjourned.